All right, I've been doing some experimenting with mix buses and stereo mix buses to try to figure out how to make these work for a live stream. And the first thing that I came across is, let's pause our music for a second. When you do the routing for USB, so if you guys are going to use USB out to your video computer, then it's okay to do that, except that you no longer are going to have the ability to record on an SD card, like all 32 channels, because whatever you're sending to that USB out, it's the same thing as what's getting recorded to your card. So I would suggest using aux buses and physical outputs on the back of your board, and then go into like a little 2-channel input box. I think the one you have is only a single channel, but that's probably the way that I would do that. Okay, so next is stereo routing for a stereo mix bus. So what I have here is I have mix buses 11 and 12, and I have those set up. They're linked. They're a linked pair. And I'm going to play some music here. There we go. This is the worship team from a Sunday. And right now, what I did just for example's sake is our lead vocal and our first background vocal, I made a stereo pair. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to verify that what's coming through my mix bus is that stereo pair sound, right? So our worship leader, male vocal, left channel, female vocal, right channel, because they're linked, they automatically get hard panned. And that is coming through in the mix bus. Okay, but the question is here, if we fader flip our mix bus here and take this out. Now we have nothing going to our mix bus. And we take the guitar in there, a mono channel. That mono channel comes through that mix bus in both sides. But for my live stream mix, I don't necessarily want every mono input to be coming through the stereo live stream mix as basically mono. So, okay, well, if I go back to my guitar input here and I pan this all the way to the left, and then we put it back in our mix, it's still mono. And this is what I ran into before and where I gave up because I was like, well, I guess you just can't do panning of mono sources, but I figured out how to do it. So this panel is, by the way, this board is the M32R. So things are a little bit different on the bigger M32, but roughly the same. This panel for panning is only for the main bus. So that is why we have to go somewhere else to get the panning for the aux buses. And the way that you can do that is if you select, you don't even have to be fader flipped. If you select our guitar, because that's the one that's in question here, and we go to sends, which on this mixer, it only has a single button. This is the panel on your mixer that's got the encoder panels. So if I go to my bus sends menu, here's what I got. So I have this channel 5, my acoustic guitar selected. Over here in my bus sends, you can see that my 11 and 12 are a stereo linked pair, and you can see that little panning icon there. These are post fader, which they should be. Down here at the bottom, I have my level for 11 and 12. There we go, we can hear it in both panels, and then here is where our pan is. So now we hear that going to the left. Now we hear it going to, turn this knob fast enough, to the right. The other option here, you can see at the bottom, if I click this, follow the LR pan. That means it will follow whatever is in my house, my mix bus mix, my house mix. So this way you can either in an iPad app or on your mixer itself, you can build a panned mix. Like for example, you're going to want your house mics to be hard panned probably, and then you want everything on stage just panned a little bit to give it some space. I like to put lead vocal in the center, and if I have 2 background vocals, I'll put one to one side and one to the other. Usually I pan roughly approximating what the positioning of things is on the stage. with the exception of, if I have 3 background vocals, I'm not going to put them all on one side, and I'm not going to put the leader all on himself on another side. I like the leader to be in the center, and I like the background vocals to be side to side, and that helps your brain be able to hear it like you want it. You want your lead vocal to be right in front, you want your background vocals to be in the background. Separating those helps that. So, in conclusion, anything that is a stereo linked channel pair will automatically pan in a stereo mix bus. Anything that is a mono channel, the panning will be determined by selecting that channel, go to the bus sends menu, and then you scroll yourself over to the bus sends in question, which in my case, for demo purposes, I picked 11 and 12, and then you can pan how you want there.